What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RaceNews.com and welcome back to another one of our previews. Let's go to Penn National on Friday night. It's going to be the Penn Mile Grade 3 event here. Race 6 on the card. I'll go ahead and bring it up on the screen for you now. Race 6 on the card here, $400,000 the purse. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I thought they already had the Penn Mile. Well, they had it scheduled, and then the rain canceled it pretty much. Just there was no chance they could run on the turf. That's something we've been used to with our racing all season, right? It's kind of been a shit show for lack of a better term. It ended up working pretty well for Penn National. They moved it to Friday, June 20th. And then lo and behold, we have a ton of rain on a Belmont day, and a lot of these horses that were going to run on Belmont day have decided, and they didn't obviously because it was off the turf or canceled altogether, but a lot of these horses have decided to come down to Penn National to run. We had the Penn Oaks, and we've got some horses that were scheduled for that Belmont card running there, and we've got some for the Penn Mile that we'll talk about as well. And we'll kick it off with the number one States Rights, who was supposed to run at Belmont and did not. So this is a horse, we'll go through them one by one here, all 8 of them, and then we'll give you a winner. This is a horse that has been knocking on the door, right? Second place on allowance race last time out at Keeneland. Second place on allowance 2 races back at Fairgrounds. Horse did have a win at Keeneland 4 races back at a mile. He won, by a length and a quarter. So, horse is ready to run. Really nice workout last time out at Keeneland on May 31st. Signals this horse is probably ready to fire. Is he good enough? That's the big question, and I'm just not sure. I think, without some of the heavy hitters that did show up because of the Belmont cancellations, you do kind of look at States Rights and think, yeah, I think this horse could win a race like the Penn Mile, but this is a pretty strong runner, running, I should say. So I'm not sure on States Rights in this spot today. Barty and Runner, the number 2 horse, is where we'll go next. This horse gets back to the turf after several races on the dirt. Horse is 10-1 for me, should be even higher. I'm not a big fan of this one. Also, the horse did run in the Delaware Derby just last week, so I'm really not sure this horse is going to run. I think we'll see a scratch of the 2 in this one. The number 3, Penguitus, is next. This is a horse that is going to try the turf for the first time here. Tried to enter the turf last time at Penn National and ended up running on the dirt. It was off the turf. This is another one, just 9 days. I could see this horse scratching as well after just running 9 days ago. If he's in, not much interest for me. All right, the number 4 is Mibago, and this is a horse I would have some interest in. Now, here's an interesting thing about Mibago. The horse was entered last time out to run in the Pennine Ridge and did run in the race, even though it was off the turf. He stayed in. He set the pace and then faded, got second, beaten 6 1/4, got beat by AP Kid, a horse that was just much, much more, whether it be ready to run on the turf or enjoy the turf or bred for the dirt, I should say. That off the turf race really fit AP Kid extremely well. Mibago, I thought ran okay, honestly. I think we have a much better shot here. I think we'll get out to the front and have a much better shot of holding on. 2 races back, the horse set the pace before getting 4th, beating a length at 3/4 by the heavy favorite in this race, Zulu Kingdom, that we'll talk about here in a minute. 4 races back, was able to hold on and win a stakes race going a mile at Gulfstream Park. That was the Colonel Liam. So, look, I think we'll set the pace. I think it'll be the horse they're going to have to run down. Looks to be kind of loose on the lead to me. We'll see if this horse can hold on. I think this horse is definitely the biggest challenger to our favorite today. The number 5 is out on bail. This is a horse finished second, only beaten a half length last time out at Churchill Downs in the William Walker Stakes. Got beat by Birdie a Butterfly, who's a pretty decent horse. Look, I think, 2 races back got beat by Governor Sam. 3 races back got beat by Governor Sam. I mean, pretty good horse. So it's got pretty good company here. I think the big question mark for me is stretching out to a mile for the first time. I think this is the horse that will pressure a Mibago on the front end and very well could set it up for a couple of horses coming from off the pace. I think stretching out, you're going to see this horse be aggressive, try to get to the front, take him, get to wire. That may not be good for Mibago, and if Mibago is out there, it may not be good for out on bail either. The number 7 is Cairo Caper, another horse here that has some stakes experience. Last time out, finished 7th, but only beaten a length and a half to Dream On, a horse that's in this race we'll talk about in a second. That was in the Woodhaven Stakes. That was the first race as a 3-year-old, second race 3-year-old coming up. We'll see what he can do here. Yeah, as a 2-year-old, not bad. Had a couple of victories on the turf at Woodbine. That race last time out of Aqueduct was the first race outside of Woodbine. So, look, 15-1, I think could outrun the odds here, but I don't know if this horse is really a serious threat. To the 2 horses to the outside, and the number 7, Zulu Kingdom, is where we'll start. I love this horse. This was going to be my single in the late sequences on Belmont Day. And, of course, off the turf, and they scratch Zulu Kingdom out of that race. So, it was the race that Mibago stayed in that we referenced earlier, the Pennine Ridge. And I thought Zulu Kingdom was just a massive, massive standout in that race. I think he's a pretty good standout in this race as well, coming off 2 straight victories. That win in the American Turf was super impressive last time out. And then, of course, won the Columbia at Tampa, just kind of, first race of the season, knocked the rust off type of effort. The horse is just getting better and better with each start. I really think he's got a big, big summer ahead of him. And I think it'll start here with the Penn Mile. I think he's going to get the job done. I think he'll be awfully, awfully tough to beat. However, I do think the number 8 Dream On could cause at least maybe a little bit of I don't know if I'd call it a problem, but I do think could kind of maybe run him down late if Zulu Kingdom isn't at his best. This horse won last time out the Woodhaven Stakes, like we talked about. He was in that race with Zulu Kingdom at Tampa, and that's just kind of draw a line through it. Was 5th, beaten 15.5. That horse was just wasn't ready to run. But 3 races back was able to win an allowance at Gulfstream Park. Ran 5th, only beaten 2 1/4 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf last year. 3rd in the summer. Like, this horse has been around the block and has been in big races and has been close. So I don't think he'll beat Zulu Kingdom in the spot, but I do think he'll show up and maybe give this horse a little bit of a challenge down the lane. I think this is a horse that's going to be running late with a chance to pick them all off. But all right, so that's the field of 8. And like I said, at the end of the day, I'm going to go with the number 7, Zulu Kingdom, on top. I just like this horse quite a bit. And again, I thought the Pennine Ridge was a little bit tougher than this spot, and the horse was going to be my single. Like, I just think he's a standout against fields like this. Now, he is cutting back to a mile, and I do think you can look at it and go, well, I don't know, maybe he got a little bit better at a mile 16th. Maybe a mile's not his absolute best, but I don't know. The thing I really like about this horse is, and really the same with the horse in the Penn Oaks, Laurel Lynn, they don't come from that far off of it. So they just kind of sit behind the speed, pounce at the top of the lane, and go get you. Like that in the American Turf, this horse was just 2 lengths off the speed. In the race at Tampa in the Columbia, this horse was right on the lead. Breeders' Cup Juvenile, this horse is only a length and a half off. So I really like Zulu Kingdom. I think this horse can be awfully tough here if he shows up with his best. I just don't think the rest of these have much of a shot. So number 7, Zulu Kingdom, on top for me in the Penn Mile. All right, guys, that'll do it for this preview of the Penn Mile. Hit that like button if you like it. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alert anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Penn National on Friday night.